Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Friday, June 9th, 2023. And our top story today, mental health parity, secure 2.0 regulatory guidance. The summer heats up at the Employee Benefits Security Administration. And joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Lisa M. Gomez is the Assistant Secretary for the Employee Benefits Security Administration. Assistant Secretary Gomez, thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
So, the summer months are typically a time to slow down and a lot of people thinking about vacation. That is not necessarily the case at the Department of Labor. When you think about the department and the Employee Benefits Security Administration, what's top of mind in terms of your agenda this summer?
Well, Jeff, thanks very much. It's definitely true that the summer months do not look like they are going to be anywhere near a slowdown for us. And for me in particular, having come into this job just last October, after a bit of a wait, things were just ready for me to get going, and we are going to be busy into the next coming months. For sure. We have a number of things on our regulatory agenda, both on the health and retirement side. And aside from regulations, we're doing a lot, just trying to get the name of the Employee Benefits Security Administration out there so people understand who we are, what we do, how we can help. That we have benefits advisors who are literally waiting at their phones to help individuals. So we're doing a lot here aside from just regulations. But as far as the regulatory agenda is concerned, on the health side, we work very closely with the Departments of Health and Human Services and Treasury on a number of different areas. I would say that the one that's most top of mind for the next coming weeks and months is the mental health parity rule. It is a very high priority for me personally, for EBSA, for the Department of Labor, and for the administration to be moving forward with promulgating a mental health parity rule. We have received a lot of informal feedback from stakeholders, whether it be plans, providers, participants, Congress people, on the needs to have more guidance in that area. And we're working really hard to deliver there. Other priorities that we have on the health side, on our agenda, we have a rule regarding association health plans and to give guidance there. On the retirement side, we have this little rule called Secure 2.0
Wow.
that was handed to me as a gift at the end of the year. I tell folks that when I came on in October, if I was thinking at all, what will I do here as Assistant Secretary? I wonder if I'll have anything to work on. Congress definitely had a fix for that with Secure 2.0, and we have more than 20 different projects under Secure 2.0 that are high priority for us. And in addition to that, on our regulatory agenda on the pension side, we have the conflict of interest rule, which has been a subject of interest for many, many years, and has had different iterations and a lot of litigation, and we are looking to place that at a high priority to issue a new proposed rule there. We have a rule on prohibited transaction exemption procedures that we are looking to finalize, as well as a rule on qualified professional asset managers, QPAMs, and that exemption. And so again, we're very busy and lots of things on top of those items, but it's going to be a busy couple of months.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and real busy. And I for one appreciate all the work that you all do in so many different areas, and we're so pleased to have you this morning. Employee benefit plans like healthcare and retirement have typically they're important benefits, and they help employers attract and retain employees. And given the tight labor market, is the department even taking a more focused approach on these types of benefits because of their importance to attracting workers?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that comment, Jeff. Um, I would say the department and EBSA specifically, the mission of the agency is to protect the hard-earned workplace-based retirement and health benefits of workers and their families. And that commitment and mission holds true no matter what the market is looking like. And so we are just steadfast in trying to work towards completing that mission and making sure that we are serving those workers and their families. We are always listening to stakeholders as far as what might be more valuable to either employers, to employees, participants, in delivering on that promise and delivering benefits. So I wouldn't say that the regulatory agenda is framed in any way specifically based on the current employment market. I will say, however, that we are looking at um, having a good benefit package. Retirement health is one of the most important ways for employers to treat their employees in the right way and to deliver on those promises to their employees. And so trying to work through our compliance assistance program to help employers to either understand how to deliver upon those benefits, how to comply with the laws that apply to those benefits. And we're looking at different ways that we can work with employers, particularly small employers who might be interested in offering different types of benefits to their employees or to attract employees, particularly in this market, and but might not know how to go about it or are afraid of um, traps or issues that they might have in trying to provide those benefits. So working towards that and helping to work with the employer community that's looking to offer benefits to these folks.
Yeah, it's such a competitive market. Assistant Secretary, you brought it up in terms of the priorities. You were handed, you in the department. I mean, there's a lot of people that go into the EBSA, but you were handed over 90 provisions of Secure 2.0, all of which have staggered timelines of implementation. How's the drafting of the regulatory requirements going? And do you have an idea? I don't want to put you in a spot. Do you have an idea of when we can expect to hear more about regulatory guidance for those provisions? Because there are quite a few.
No, there's definitely quite a few provisions that came through that. Some of which we're working with Treasury, who might have primary responsibility, or other agencies, but there's definitely over 20 provisions that lie squarely with the Department of Labor and with EBSA. And from the moment that Secure was enacted, we were hard at work to develop a plan of our own as to what needed to be done, what the timing on different provisions were, and to determine internally how we could allocate our resources best to address and meet the various requirements of Secure. One thing that I did not appreciate coming into this job, having been in private practice and not worked for government prior to coming here, is the the size of this agency relative to other agencies and the amount of work that a relatively small group of people do and the demands put upon them. And I'm very, very fortunate to be able to work with such a group of dedicated and smart and wonderful people who are all looking to get the job done. That being said, we are a small agency. There was not money given to us, additional funding as part of Secure to sort of help us down this road. But we are nonetheless really working towards meeting all of those obligations. There are regulatory projects. There are other projects like studies and reviews that we have to do. We are in the process of coming out with one of the first projects under Secure, which was an inflation report, which we hope to have issued soon. And then as far as the priority list, one thing that is really top priority for us and that we are very excited about moving forward on is the employee ownership initiative that is part of Secure 2.0. And we are developing that program here and are excited to work on that and to be releasing within the not too distant future some more information on that. Attached to that is giving formal guidance on adequate consideration in employee stock ownership plans. And so that is also something that is sooner on the horizon than maybe some other provisions. We are working hard on looking at the reporting and disclosure requirements under Secure. There are a number of different provisions that all have a similar goal at trying to make reporting and disclosure requirements more effective for participants and their beneficiaries, more streamlined for employers and for plan sponsors. And so we're taking a holistic view of those various requirements and trying to figure out either based on things that were already in progress at the department and within EBSA, or things that might relate to each other in a good way that we can consolidate those. And we are hoping to put something out again within the not too distant future that folks can look forward to being able to give us feedback on how to deliver on all of those promises. Another big priority for us is the establishment of the Lost and Found database. And this is something that, there are similar models that exist in other areas, but nothing within the department and within EBSA here. So this is new to us. But again, we were working right away to figure out from a more logistics standpoint, how to set up this database, how it will work, and that piece of it, but also thinking about how we're going to get the information to populate that database so that we can get information from plan sponsors to put in this database, and then participants can be able to look and find benefits that may be owed to them from prior employment, prior plans that they were involved in, and connect with that. So I would say those are the biggest priorities for us with Secure, but we're working hard on all of these different projects.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone needs to be a good juggler. Keep all those balls in there. It's a lot of work.
It's juggling or Jenga, and one of the two.
Yeah,
maybe both.
Yeah. Well, credit to you and the folks at EBSA. Assistant Secretary Gomez, I need to take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Social Security and environmental, social, and governance regulation. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Over the last 50 years, Mission Square Retirement has helped over 3 million public service employees retire well.
298 Washington.
298.
After 25 years of service, this will be my last radio transmission with Washington Fire Department. To my department, it has been an honor to serve this community alongside each of you. Words cannot express how much this life has meant to me. To the community of Washington, I am forever altered by our relationships. Whether it was coaching Little League or putting out one of your creative fireworks displays. Thank you, and please stay safe.
Lieutenant James Campbell, you have led our fire department with grace, grit, and courage. The department and the entire community wish you a healthy and happy retirement.
298 off the air at 1702.
While their service to their community must one day come to an end, our mission to serve them does not. We're there with them, to and through retirement. Mission Square Retirement. Invest in a shared sense of service.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
Assistant Secretary Gomez, thank you so much for staying with us this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, it's really appreciate you hanging around for segment 2. I haven't lost a guest yet. I'm so excited about that. Look, Social Security has been in the news a lot lately, and I want to ask you, how does this benefit in Medicare? How does that factor in to the work that the department does with respect to retirement and healthcare? Do you take those benefits into account when you're drafting new regulations or some of the other initiatives that you have going on?
Well, Jeff, I think as far as taking those benefits into account, we certainly have to be aware of those benefits and what might be available to individuals as they go into retirement, and what types of assets and benefits, and whether on the health or retirement side that they might have available to them. But the what we're really looking towards is, how someone can have a successful and a fruitful retirement. And the best case scenario is that they will have the protection of Social Security and Medicare, as well as a retirement benefit. We're looking and protecting the workplace-based benefits of America's workers. So we do take into consideration the other benefits that will be available to them, but not in a way that's really shaping our program so much. We're looking to make sure that they have the best workplace based retirement and health benefits, and that those benefits remain protected and available, and that they're aware of those benefits, and can look towards retirement and balancing what they have through Social Security and Medicare, as well as what they have through their own savings and through what they've earned during their work career.
Assistant Secretary Gomez, the department released some regulatory guidance around environmental, social, and governance investments in defined contribution plans. And we're not going to wade into the politics here. That's not this show. Type of show that we are, but I just want to ask you about that regulatory environment and around ESG and the latest on that. I mean, how are things going? And sorry, let me ask that question again. I was going down a rabbit hole here. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Assistant Secretary Gomez, the department recently released environmental, social, and governance regulations. And we're not going to wade into politics here, but I want to ask you, how are those regulations doing, for lack of a better term, and what can we expect in terms of guidance from the department?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So last December, in December of 2022, we issued, EBSA issued a final rule on prudence and loyalty in plan investing. And the rule, it was 2 rules, and those rules mainly dealt with under what circumstances can a plan fiduciary consider environmental, social, and governance factors in making investment-related decisions. That rule was released in the beginning of December of 2022. It was effective on January 30th of 2023. We were unfortunately sued by 25 states right before the effective date of the rule. And while that litigation remains pending, the rule is still effective. It has not been stayed. So it is out there. We are doing what we can, working with the Department of Justice to defend the rule. And, we are confident that that the rule is well reasoned, and we're optimistic about the outcome in that litigation. In the meantime, the rule was put out for a reason, and that reason was that we were hearing from stakeholders and learning, just based on what we were seeing, that the rules that were in effect on consideration of these factors were having a chilling effect on plan fiduciaries being able to even think about considering these types of factors in making investments. And so the intent of this rule was just to take the thumb off of this decision-making process. Fiduciaries are not required to consider economic, environmental, social, or governance factors in investing. They can if they want. This was intended to put the consideration of those types of factors on an equal footing as one would consider other types of factors in making sound investment decisions. And we have tried, both in the rule itself and then in education and speeches and anything that we can do after the rule was issued, to just continue to give that message that it's not a mandate. It's a tool that is available to plan fiduciaries should they want to consider these factors, and an instruction to them that if you want to consider these factors, then you just have to get back down to fiduciary basics and be making sure that you are putting the interests of the participants paramount, and that the nothing can be subordinate to the risk and return cannot be subordinate to consideration of these factors. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of hay about it, and it is, it's one of these acronyms that gets a lot of attention, but we are trying to just continue to put out the message that, this is a very basic returning to basics, leveling the playing field, and giving additional tools to fiduciaries should they decide that they want to take advantage of them.
Thank you for that, Assistant Secretary Gomez. Last question, and then I promise I'll let you off the hook. Data and privacy, I think we hear about it almost every day in the general news, but I would think that it might be at the top of one of the top of the key issues for employee benefit plan sponsors. And I know that the department released best practices around data and data security, but is this another initiative? And I'm not trying to put more on your plate. I know you guys are very busy. But is this an issue that you all are looking at more closely?
Yes. No, thanks, Jeff. The issue of cybersecurity and benefit plans is definitely a very important one. For health plans, those plans have been subject to HIPAA privacy requirements for many, many years. And so I think that on the health plan side, there was some more attention paid. But as anyone knows who's listening to this, we're unfortunately constantly hearing about cyber breaches and the troubles that can come from if a company or a plan or whomever it is does not have their cyber house in order. And does not have as much protection in place as you can think to have. And on the retirement side, it's definitely an issue because these retirement plans have information, lots of information about the people who participate in those plans. And we were finding that maybe those plans were not paying as much attention to how to keep, again, their cyber house in order. So the department issued these best practices a couple of years ago. We have been doing enforcement activity to find what plans are doing and are they meeting these best standards? What can they be doing more? And we are trying to educate both on protections that could be put in place, things like cyber liability insurance that plans should be considering having, and those types of issues that plan sponsors should be facing, and also for them to consider that if you're an employer, you may have insurance and protections in place for your regular business, but that the plan is something separate, and to make sure that you have protections in place for the plan as well. So it's something that we definitely are continuing to be focused on, and it's just a really important area. So back to the juggling and Jenga, but they're all important issues, and we're doing our best to stay on top of them.
Yeah, you are. And really appreciate you, Assistant Secretary Gomez, coming on the program, talking with us. And you're welcome back anytime. We appreciate you being here and look forward to having you back on the program again very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
And that wraps up this episode of BRNAM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the news related to retirement markets, technology, personal finance, so much more, and all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content, visit our website, and of course, all of our streaming partners. We're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRN Weekly. We'll be breaking down the markets and then taking a look back. That's right, back at some of our best segments for the week. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
But if you're tired of the same
Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the first lifestyle and wellness network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.